Felt like a pretty long week without Formula One, but we're finally coming back with this weekend circuit of the Americas with a sprint race and a full race, but with some big expected upgrades. From some big teams that have actually been looking for upgrades, haven't upgraded that much in the past couple of Grand Prix. There are 3 teams in particular we gotta look out for, but other teams that we will note and talk about. I wanna start this video going in with the small stuff and then getting into the big packages that we actually know are coming. Not expected, confirmed, which is even better for us. So a lot to expect. Making the Thursday video, have a lot of pictures, and we can talk about it right now and get into discussion of what these upgrades will look like. So let's speak about it. Here in Austin, you gotta have a very balanced car to actually perform well, as I talked about in my track preview and predictions, if you wanna go check that out. So let's talk about McLaren and Ferrari. Let's get into them first. McLaren has actually said that this Singapore upgrade was their last upgrade. Every package that they have brought has been big. They haven't been very much for the small packages every race and just have gone with huge packages for every circuit when they actually come with a package upgrade. And look, they performed amazingly. They're one of the only teams that have done this. Red Bull did to a degree as well, but Red Bull also has that penalty. I think they're trying to save as much time as they can going into their 2024 car. So I'm not really gonna count them in the equation, but they're the only team that have successfully made their car from that tractor in the beginning to what it is now. So it comes to show you that is the optimal package to stick with. Now, Ferrari also haven't brought a lot of upgrade packages. Actually, in the whole season, believe it or not, Ferrari have only brought 13 upgrade packages. Now, that is a crazy number. 13 upgrade packages is a very small number for a team like Ferrari with that type of personnel. I guess they really are focused on this 2024 car, and they have finally resorted that Japan is their last upgrade. No more will be coming to the car, which is expected. They're going down the Red Bull concept route with a more undercut side pod, even bigger downwash than they currently have. Maybe they'll take out that S-duct so they have an actual proper floor. We'll have to see. I hope for Ferrari to be a lot stronger in 24, but don't count them out in the circuit. This could be a actually strong circuit for them. I think we can see Ferrari challenge Red Bull maybe a couple times more this year. This could be one of the circuits. I also think Brazil will be pretty good for them. But now we can start getting into the big dogs. I mean, really the big teams bringing the biggest upgrade packages here. So let's start off with Haas. Can you believe Haas is actually bringing a big package? Now this is a full out aero kit of a package. This is not going to be something light. It's supposed to be a whole revamp of the car. Gunther Steiner says it's not really a B-spec because they're not changing the suspension and gearbox, but they can't change the rear suspension or gearbox anyways because it just doesn't work in these regulations with the cost cap and with it being frozen for the year. So I don't really know what he's talking about. It practically is a B-spec car that is coming. So this car is the only car that doesn't have a downwash concept. It actually has that overcut in a way. Something that the Ferrari SF75 originally had, and now the SF23 took away from it. I think they're going to go down a route that does not look like the SF23. They've already said it's going to be a Red Bull type of route. And I'm expecting this car to be a carbon copy of a Red Bull. That's at least my thought process. So we should see changes completely in the side pods. We should see changes on the engine cover, probably changes towards the front wing. They've brought a couple of different front wings, but I'd expect more to be changed. They're going to be changing their underfloor and improving upon the little things that they've already done kind of decently on. As you've seen with the Red Bull concept, that little thing that comes out that makes the undercut even more profound on the side pod. McLaren currently has it, Aston Martin currently has it. Every team is kind of adopting that more into their side pod because it allows for a bigger swoosh in the undercut. I think Haas will be going for that. They're looking to see for 2024. They actually said if this upgrade fails, they're kind of screwed for 2024 because they're putting a lot of effort into this upgrade being a big one, something to be very focused on. I hope they do successfully. To me, Haas has just been kind of that team that they exist. They've kind of just been there, but they haven't really been providing us with any fun entertainment, even though Kevin Magnussen is one of my favorite drivers. I love his Viking driving style. I hope that they actually improve upon a car that has been pretty fast in qualifying, but in the race, you might as well put the car in the garage because that's where it belongs. It's just not been a great racing car. It's been a great qualifying car, but you don't get points on Saturday. So, I mean, mate, you'll get points on this Saturday. So they've been pretty good in the sprint. So I'd like to see what they can do with this package. But obviously with the suspension not being changed, we'll have to see what it does for tire wear. Regardless, it could be a little bit quicker. So we'll see on that upgrade package. They love to copy other teams, but that's what it is with a small team. Now, let's talk about the two biggest teams bringing upgrade packages here. I'm going to talk about Aston Martin first. So Aston Martin has been projecting upgrade packages for the past 7 Grand Prix practically, and Mike Crack finally has confirmed that they are bringing stuff here in the US Grand Prix, which finally they have been doing that. And I'm going to tell you where the problems lie with the car and where we can expect these upgrade packages to come. First of all, the floor. The floor is definitely going to be an upgrade package, probably being focused on here for the US Grand Prix. I don't think that's something that they've actually necessarily failed on, but I think with its current aero kit and what they've changed in the side pod design on the top, they need to change the floor to be more adaptable to the back of their car. The rear of their car has been the issue. It's not that they don't have rear grip, it's that they have too much downforce in the back, and it's actually shredding up the tires instead of it being a even downforce playing field. So the car is sliding, it's not being as good as it needs to be on its tire wear, but also it's messing with the car's balance altogether as well. Because the side pod design got changed, it was made to a more minimalistic slide pod design to anybody else. It's like more indented. Not even McLaren has it that way. Alpine doesn't have it that way. They went their own route and it didn't work. But they say, not just with that though, but towards the rear, the way that the floor shape was made with this undercut, it just wasn't working with the car. The airflow is getting stuck somewhere, even though they have a lot less drag. As I said, more downforce isn't always a good thing in these regulations, because floor level is honestly your most important part. The lower you can put the floor and the more downforce you're grabbing from there, the less you have to actually adopt the top part of the car to make it less focused on getting air going through there for the less drag. You want the air to be going mainly through the underfloor, which is something that Red Bull has just gotten down to the T. If you look at every single car and how low the cars go, no car goes to the level that Red Bull goes. I mean, it's not even competitive. I think the closest car is McLaren, and that's because they have a different suspension setup. They've always been talking now about that they're going to make their own gearbox designs, and the suspension is going to be worked on from their own factory, their new factory. So Aston Martin has a lot looking for them. With the new factory, with the new whole entire gearbox team that's coming, with the Honda engine deal, a lot is looking to shape up for the car. But currently, in the state that they're at, they can't really just rely on that. They have to go with what Mercedes gives them, and they have to make their floor level more dependent on what the suspension can handle. So 2024 will probably be a better grip because I think Mercedes is going to go with a lower floor level. They've already said they've kind of figured it out in the wind tunnel, what floor level they need. Aston Martin, their floor is pretty low. Actually, if you were looking in the beginning of the year, they were the second lowest to Red Bull. But I think with a couple of changes, maybe messing with some stuff on the top, has made their floor level a little bit higher. And now the car has just lost that beautiful tire nature that it had in the beginning of the year. But this is where they say they expect it to come back. They have upgrade packages coming from here to Abu Dhabi. That's what they say. And considering we have this triple header, we'll probably see them here in the US. Not sure about Mexico and Brazil, but then we'll probably see something for Vegas and Abu Dhabi. So let's see what this Aston Martin car can bring out. The drag has been a lot better, but expect some changes within the floor and side pod design. I think that's where the main changes should be consistent of. They've changed the engine cover multiple times. I think more now is going to go into the actual mid part of the car. And last team, and I've covered it in a couple videos now, but let's talk about it again. For the W14, what is coming? So their confirmed package is a floor design, a new floor. They've had the same floor since Monaco. I think they have revised it a couple of times and made those actual Venturi tunnels a bit longer, but still very plain and nothing to the Red Bull level. This is supposed to be a major revamp for their 2024 car. I mean, James Allison has now came out and said that he is not working on the W14 since the mid of the season. He said, I'm fully focused on the W15. It will be a completely different car. He said it'll be a close cousin. I don't really know what that means for him, but he said it'll be a close cousin to the W14, the new W15. And this is honestly for them to just test out the floor level and how low can they ride this car. It's a bumpy track, so actually getting the floor height is very important here for not only the future, but also for suspension purposes, where they will definitely be making changes in the future, because they have said that their front suspension is something they don't clearly understand, which, I mean, guess what? Red Bull understands that to a T. Look at the car. James Allison is now completely working on the car, the W15, different suspension, different floor, different ride height levels, this is where we can expect the most performance from Mercedes. They already have a pretty strong race car, in my opinion, for Circuit of the Americas. But for them to actually excel here, they need a better floor. The car can't be 4 to 5 tenths behind Red Bull on every track and then finishing 30 seconds behind, because they're always fighting through traffic and so on. They need to improve the car. This is not Mercedes level. I think that they're going to come with a much better car next year, but this will be a good testing ground for them, because last year they were actually pretty decent here, but not even close to good enough, because Max had a 15-second pit stop and still came back and blew Lewis Hamilton out of the water. So a lot for them to catch. They need to work on it. I actually think that Mexico will be a very strong Grand Prix for them, but expect these upgrades here. I'm actually excited to cover all these because it's big. It's big time when you got Mercedes and Aston Martin bringing huge upgrades. So let me know your thoughts down below. Please subscribe. It means the world for me, and peace.